Hey guys, so I've got a crazy video for you. In this video we are going to see everything that I have just talked to you about in my last three videos, the Hammer of 2024, the Super Bowl 58, and the eclipse, all coming to fruition in full disclosure in this one movie, plus so much more. You are not going to believe what was in this movie. And I can say that because as I was making this video, I kept saying to God, there's no way this is happening right now. So much disclosure. This movie is packed. So we're going to cover the movie Super 8. We're going to cover the actual film, Super 8 film by Kodak. We're going to cover the creature who is in this film, who is also stands on the Vatican stage in the audience hall. We are going to watch movie clips. We're going to see references to the eclipse. Everything we've talked about is in here. I am not kidding. You are going to be beside yourself. I'm going to start off walking us through the Super 8 Kodak film page, and then the Super 8 movie wiki page, because we have to go over the characters so that I can explain to you who they are and what they represent. That way when we watch the actual clips of the movie I have put together for you, they will make so much sense and give you deeper understanding of the spiritual implications that are being put forward in this movie. When I tell you this is full disclosure of what's coming, trust me. Watch this movie to the end. You will not be able to go 2 minutes without hearing something that's jaw-dropping. I've made it as compiled and short as I can while still giving you the information. But believe me, if you have watched those last three videos, you do not want to miss 1 second of this. So let's get started. As we get closer to the end, the truth will become more and more precious, and the people that hold it will have a great responsibility, because the world will reject what they have to say, persecute, hunt them down, and kill them. These truths are hard, and it takes a certain kind of person led by God to bring these truths to the surface. So choose you this day whom ye will serve. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Welcome. So the name of this movie is Super 8, which I have a Wikipedia page open for that. But Super 8 is a film format. I wanted to look into the actual film that's called Super 8 and see what it was all about. So there is 8mm, which you can see here on the right, which has wider tracks or perforations to drag the film along, and this has more narrow ones, giving a bigger exposure area. So with Super 8, you are more exposed. So let's scroll down and take a look at some of the specs for the Super 8 system. Where do you guys see this? So, launched in 1965 by Eastman Kodak at the 1964 to 65 World's Fair. Super 8 film comes in plastic light-proof cartridges containing coaxial supply and take-up spools loaded with 50 feet, 15mm of film. Remember, I told you that when they add these millimeters, it's because they want to show you. Notice they said 72 frames per foot, but they didn't tell you how many millimeters there are in a foot, right? So, whenever they use two measurements, they want you to look at the numbers. Or they may not want you to, but it's there for us as a sign. So, 15mm, that's 555, which is 666. With 72 frames per foot, 72. 66 plus 6, for a total approximately 3,600 frames per film cartridge. 36. 3 sixes, 666. This is enough film for 2.5 minutes. 2 fives, 55. That's a numerical value for Satan. The professional motion picture standard of 24 frames per second. 24, that's 888. And for 3 minutes and 20 seconds. That's 3-2 or 2-3, spiritual possession. Of continuous filming at 18 frames per second. 18, 666. Upgraded from standard 8mm at 16 frames for amateur use. 16, there's 88. In 1975 or 57 5G, an even larger 200-foot 61-meter cartridge became available. 61, that's 16, that's 88. Isn't this crazy? Like, these numbers could have been any numbers. How ironic that they end up being numbers that we cover all the time, exposing darkness. Unbelievable. This is the Super 8 page of Wikipedia for the movie. Here's a few interesting things. Super 8 is a 2011 American science fiction thriller film. So it was released in 11. 11 times 8 is 88. And Super is 79. How interesting that this movie takes place in 79. And Super is 79. If you add 7 and 9 together, you get 16, which is 88. So Super 8 is 888. Released in 2011 about a story taking place in 1979. So 79, this says Super right there. Very interesting correlation between the title and the year they decided to make this take place in. Before I move on, I would just like to say that this was written and directed by J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams is 74, which is 47. Spiritual Possession, and co-produced by Steven Spielberg. Steven is 58. That is the Antichrist number and the Super Bowl number. Spielberg is 93. That's 3 nines or 3 sixes. 666. When you add together 58 and 93, you get 151. That is 11 times 5, which is 55, which is the numerical value for Satan. This is gonna get crazy. So, I don't know who's seen this movie, who hasn't, but it is about a group of kids who are filming a movie on Super 8 film for a film contest. They're trying to win like a local film contest. And while they're filming a shot, they witness a train derailment. And on this train is an alien being that the Air Force is transporting from one place to another. Now they capture this train crash on film. And then the military comes to the town. The kids, when they took off, had left a film box at the scene. So the military is looking for people who might have filmed the accident because they're trying to cover up what's happening. And they're trying to regain control over the alien being who is now running amok in this town, which is called Lillian, Ohio, which the film was shot in Weirton, West Virginia. So as you can see, looking up at Weirton, West Virginia, the city's population was 19,163. So you can see those first 3 numbers are 911. And the last two are 6 and 3. 3 sixes. 666 911. How crazy. It's also the 6th largest city in the state of West Virginia. So we're going to cover the plot, okay? And I am going to go through and give you information on the names and the numbers, because this is all important. So, in 1979, Deputy Jack Lamb, Deputy Jack is 116. 11 times 6, that's 66. Lamb is 28, that's 88. So, Deputy Jack Lamb is a portal to Apollo. His 14-year-old son, Joe, is going to represent Joe Biden. Okay, 14, that's 7 and 7, 77, or 711. So 77 is how old Joe was when he became president. Joe is the final head on the beast. 77 is 711, which is the same as 911, because SEPTA for September is 7. So he was elected at 77. Then they say he got 81 million votes, which is 18 backwards. That's 666. So he came in at 77, 711, and is leaving at 81. And don't forget that when he ran for president in 2020, that his little text thing was 30330, remember? Text Joe to 30330. Well, if you divide 2020 by 666, you get 30330. Definitely some ritual black magic going on here. You'll see where I'm going with all this eventually. So his son and him are mourning the death of his wife and mother Elizabeth in a workplace accident. Jack blames Elizabeth's co-worker Louis Daynard for the accident, as Elizabeth had to cover his shift while Daynard recovered from a hangover. Joe clings to his mom's memory in the form of a locket. Locket is 66. Apollo. And you will see that this movie starts with this locket and ends with this locket, making an Ouroboros. 4 months later, Joe's friend Charles is making a zombie movie for Super 8. So here's your portal, 888, and he's making a zombie movie. Charles is 66. Joe Lamb is 58. Okay, you see what's happening? Joe Lamb, 58. Charles, 66. Making a zombie movie for 888. You're going to see all these numbers popping up that we've been talking about. The last 3 videos I've made about the Super Bowl, the hammer coming down, and the eclipse are all going to be tied into this one movie. So they're making a zombie movie for the Super 8 film competition. He enlists Joe's help with friends Preston, which is 107, 17. Q, Martin, which is 75, 57, 5G. Carrie, which is 47. Okay, look at what just happened here. You have Joe, 58, right? Super Bowl 58, Joe Lamb, getting help with his friends. Q, passing Q through 5G and possessing people into 47 spiritual possession, as well as Daynard's daughter, Alice. Alice Daynard is 81, which is 18, 666. Though their fathers are opposed to their friendship, Joe and Alice become close. If you do Joe and Alice, it's 79, like 1979, like Super 79, Joe and Alice. Also, 7 and 9 is 16. That's 88. So the portal, okay, when Apollo and Artemis come together. Now, Alice is a Large Hadron Collider detector. All right, it is part of CERN, like Alice in the Wonderland, right? Going to another dimension. Here it is on the ring of CERN itself. You can see here is the Large Hadron Collider, and here is Alice. We all know that CERN is going to open the pit. Okay, we know that CERN has something to do with the release of the zombies. And here we have Joe Lamb, 58, with his buddy Charles, 66, Apollo, making a zombie movie for a 888 film competition. And in order to make this zombie movie, they need Q, the spirit of Antichrist. They need 5G, Martin. And then the final product is the spiritual possession Carrie at 47. I hope you guys are picking up what I am putting down. While filming at train depot at midnight, a train approaches and a pickup truck rams the train head-on, derailing it and destroying the depot. The children are separated in fiery chaos. The kids regroup and find crates of strange white cubes amid the wreckage, before discovering the truck driver to be their biology teacher, Dr. Woodward. Doctor is 22. Lucifer, V. 22 is V, that's Lucifer. Woodward is 203. 23. So this person is possessed by the spirit of Lucifer. Straight up devil possession, possessed by Satan himself. Gravely injured, he warns them at gunpoint to forget what they have seen. They flee as a convoy from the local Air Force base led by Colonel Nellick arrives. Nellick finds an empty Super 8 film box. As I'm editing this, I'm noticing a strange thing taking place in the release dates, which I have not covered and did not cover, and also in the running time. So you have release dates of June 9th, 2011 Australia, and June 10th, 2011 United States. Now, if you just take June and June, that's 66. If you take the 9th and the 10th, that's 19, the Metonic cycle. You take the 2 and the 2, that's 22. Lucifer, you take the 11 and 11, that's 22. Lucifer, you take the running time, 11 times 2, that's 22. Lucifer. You guys, you can't make this stuff up. This is absolutely nuts. In the following days, the town experiences strange events. Dogs run away, several townspeople go missing, the electrical power fluctuates, the electronic items are stolen. Jack approaches Nellick, but Nellick arrests him. So Jack is the deputy, Joe's father. Nellick is the colonel of the military who is hunting down this beast. Colonel Nellick is 69. All right? So, that is the twin spirits, Artemis and Apollo. Okay, so after Nellick arrests Deputy Jack, he orders flamethrowers to start a wildfire as an excuse to evacuate the residents to the base. Joe and Charles watch their derailment footage and see that a large creature escaped the train. Nellick confronts Woodward in the military hospital, seeking information about the creature, but when Woodward rebukes him, Nellick has him killed with a lethal injection. Lewis tells Joe the creature has abducted Alice. Joe, Charles, Martin, and Carrie persuade Jen, Charles's older sister, to flirt with Donnie so he can get them into town to rescue Alice. Breaking into Dr. Woodward's trailer, they find documents and a film from his time as a government researcher. The film and tape recorder reveal that in 1963, 3/6, the Air Force captured an alien when it crash landed. They experimented on the alien while withholding its spacecraft. composed of strange white cubes which allowed the craft to shapeshift. The alien had established a psychic connection with Woodward, convincing him to help it escape Earth. Now, what are the chances that reality lines up with this movie? So in the movie in 1963, an alien crash lands, and Woodward wants to help him escape. This just so happens to be the same year that Kennedy was assassinated. Kennedy was the 35th president. 3 and 5 is 8. That's a portal. Kennedy wanted to send man into space, which is where this alien came from. JFK, as he's so commonly referred to, is 27. That's 72. 66 plus 6. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22nd. That's 11. And 22. That's 33. So, was Kennedy the portal to help this alien? Just a strange set of coincidences, I suppose. You be the judge. But Nellick sabotaged, discredited, and discharged Woodward. While the kids are watching the film, Nellick captures them, but the alien kills Nellick and the airman, allowing the kids to escape. Jack escapes and agrees with Lewis to put their differences aside to save their kids. The military attacks the alien, but their hardware goes haywire in its presence, resulting in significant collateral damage. Joe and Carrie find a massive tunnel system under the town. The missing townfolk, including Alice, are hanging unconscious from the ceiling of a cavern. So here you see that Joe and Carrie have found a massive tunnel system under the town. You know, like CERN. And who is in this massive tunnel system under the town? Alice. You see what's going on here? And remember, these kids are making a zombie movie. And all these people are hanging unconscious from the ceiling of a cavern. Here, the alien is creating a device constructed from the missing electronics and attached to the base of a water tower. Using firecrackers as a distraction, Joe frees Alice and the others. The alien grabs Joe, who quietly speaks to it, convincing that it could still live while bad things happen. Establishing an emotional connection between the two of them, the alien realizes that not all humans are bad as Nellick and spares him, allowing him to return to the surface. So here you see Joe and the alien establishing a connection. Everyone watches as metal objects from the town are pulled to the top of the tower by an unknown force. The white cubes reassemble to create a spaceship. As the alien enters it, the locket in Joe's pocket is drawn toward the tower. After a moment, he lets it go, completing the ship. As the ship rises into space, Joe takes Alice's hand. So there you see that at the end, Joe's locket gets sucked up to the ship, completing it. The ship is nothing more than an Ouroboros, a way for the serpent to keep coming back around again. The Detective Zombies short film the children were making in Super 8 rolls runs at the end of the movie beside the credit roll. In it, Charles asks for his short film, The Case, to be picked for local film festival before being attacked by Alice as a zombie. So The Case, the is 33, and case is 28, which is 88. So here you have your Freemasonic portal, this movie, into zombie creation through Alice. Alright, so I hope that all made sense to you. So now let's watch the movie. So I want to show you something that I found in this movie before we dive into watching the actual movie. This is the sculpture who the Catholic Church claims is Jesus rising out of the nuclear holocaust. This is a completely demonic sculpture, and I have covered this, I believe, in a couple videos, and I think most prominently in the video called Lucifer's Legions. But I wanted to show you this image because I want to show you what I did to this image in the past, because it now relates to this movie. Let me show you. So what I did was I took half of it and mirror imaged it. And I got many different mirror images. I was checking to see different things, to see how it would look in different positions. But as you can see, this looks like a mantis or a locust, the way the legs are shaped and the arms coming up. This one looks like a serpent on a goat head, right? Coming up out of the head of a goat. You see it? More locusty, buggy. And then this is the one I'm going to focus on. So you can see here, it looks like the head of a serpent. Now look at the middle of his face. Okay, he's coming up out of the head of the goat. So what I'm going to show you now is some pictures of the creature in the Super 8 movie that I took still frames of and compiled them next to this picture so that we can take a look and see what we see. This is Photoshop, and we can zoom in here, and I have these other pictures on layers. So here we have this creature, this alien. This is really close up when there is a gunfight, so he has his teeth bared. So I'm just going to pop a few of these on so that you can get an idea of the face. Now to me, this looks an awful lot like this. And I'll bet you if I had played around with the mirror image a little bit more, that I could have got it to look pretty similar to this. So I just found this amazing. I don't know if you can see what I can see, but to me, I see this in this demon rising up out of the head of this goat. So I just wanted to show you that before we get into the movie to pique your interest, because this is going to get even more crazy than it's already been. In this clip, you're going to see Nellis and Overmeyer, which are the two military guys. And then on the bed here, they have Dr. Woodward. Dr. is 22. That's Lucifer. Woodward is 203. That's 23. Spiritual possession, 23, and me. In this case, the me is Lucifer. So Dr. Woodward literally says possessed by Lucifer. And you will hear him talk about how he is one with the alien being, which is the devil. Now Colonel Nellick is 69. That is the twin spirit, the Gemini spirit, Apollo and Artemis, one of the heads of the seven-headed beast. And behind him is Overmeyer. Overmeyer is 121, which is 1 plus 1 plus 2 is 4. Roman numerals IV. He plays a very significant role as he is the IV. And he will actually even be showing you that he gives shots. And then later in the bus scene, you will see him giving out a shot of a different kind. But let's listen closely to this conversation.
I don't want any more trouble, do you? We've been going through your belongings, looking for evidence, what you knew, what you knew, what you knew, how you knew it, who else might know. I remember you in the lab, and I recall we didn't always see eye to eye, but that is no excuse for doing what you did here. Why don't you just tell me where you put your research, and who else knows about it?
Here you see Overmeyer, whose name means IV, which literally means to inject intravenously, loading up a shot with the obvious biohazard symbol on it. So Overmeyer, whose name is IV, is literally the shot master. And he will be giving out shots later as well, only through a gun.
I swear to God on my mother's life, if you help us now, we will take care of you.
I've seen what happens, Mr. Nellick, when you take care of people.
It is mine. He is mine.
He's in me, as I am in him. So, when you see him next, as I'm sure you will, I'll be watching you too.
So he says, he's in me, and I'm in him. So see, his name, it means possessed by Lucifer. And he literally told you that he and Lucifer is one. He said, he is in me, and I am in him. And that's exactly what the numerical value of his name in this movie says about him. So you can see these numbers are real. And they're there for a purpose. So I'm going to play you a mashup of parts of this movie, and they are going to fit right in line with everything I have shown you to do with the hammer coming down, the Super Bowl ritual, and the eclipse. This is going to get crazy.
He's been tracking this thing since 1958. He's been tracking this thing since 1958.
What is this?
Been tracking this thing since 1958. So there's your Super Bowl. There's your 58.
What is this? It says April 8th, 1963 incident.
April 8th, 1963. April 8th is the date of the eclipse. So you have the Super Bowl, 1958, and you have April 8th, the eclipse. It gets even crazier. There you can see on the cassette, it says April 8th. And keep in mind that a cassette is rewound and replayed. It is an Ouroboros, the serpent eating its tail. So April 8th on a cassette is coming back around again.
Told them that this creature is more sophisticated. This creature is more sophisticated than any of us. That his species is predominantly subterranean.
So his species is predominantly subterranean because they dwell in hell, underground.
And that he is being treated without compassion or respect. I explained that all he wants.
And this creature's being treated without compassion or respect, right? Because this is how Satan feels. This is why he hates humanity. He feels that he got the raw deal, that he should be the one that inherits the kingdom and not humanity. He hates humanity.
Or respect. I explained that all he wants is to rebuild his ship made up of those cubes, a complex shape-shifting alloy. Remarkable material that we'll never fully understand. He has been desperate to reconstitute his ship since it crashed here in 58.
So there you hear it again. His ship crashed here in 58. So the invasion came at 58. And this is taking place April 8th, 1963. So your Super Bowl, your eclipse. So we have all these things tying these events to 2024. We have Super Bowl 58 with the eclipse on April 8th. This creature came in 58 or at Super Bowl 58 and escaped on 4/8, 1963. And this movie is about creating zombies. So this is crazy. They're straight up giving us all the disclosure we could possibly need using the last 3 videos to understand it deeply.
58. In 58. But instead of giving him the help he needs, we've held him as a prisoner. We've held him as a prisoner.
Guys, it's Dr.
He's been
Woodward.
restrained and experimented upon, biopsied and tortured by Nellick. Biopsied and tortured by Nellick.
And in case you didn't hear them say the date, look at that. Putting it right in your face. So what is the significance of April 8th, 1963? So when I saw this date, 4/8/1963 pop up, I was beside myself. And I started paying really close attention to everything in this movie. So obviously we know that the eclipse is on 4/8/2024. So I decided to put 4/8/1963 into the date and time calculator. That way we can see the amount of time in between these 2 dates. So you can see here I've did the start date of 4/8/1963 and end date of 4/8/2024. Alright? So if we go down here to the days, we see the result is 22,281 days. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, and 1 is 18. So here you have a portal into 666. It gets even more messed up. It's also 61 years, which is 16 backwards. That's 88. 8 and 8 is 16. It gets even more messed up. It's 732 months. That's 237. The cage of the beast. And if you add the 3 and the 2 together, that's 5. So 57, 5G. You guys, this is insane. All these, the days, the years, and the months, all work out to wickedness. And it's all starting at this date of April 8th in 1963. And in this movie, this is the day that this alien started to possess people, and the person it possessed decided to help it escape. So, absolute craziness. Let's get back to the video.
Compassion, we have taught him to hate us all. We have taught him to hate us all. We've turned him in.
Through our lack of compassion, we've taught him to hate us all, looking for sympathy for the devil.
We've turned him into an enemy. We've turned him into an enemy. I told him I knew these things because he made contact with me. Knew these things because he made contact with me. That he makes a psychic connection. He makes a psychic connection by touch.
He makes a psychic connection by touch. Could this be referring to the medicine and the mark, which will interact with his signal, the 5G? Spiritual possession. And he makes a psychic connection with this Dr. Woodward, who is Dr. 22, that's V, Lucifer, and Woodward, who is 203, 23, possessed by the spirit of Lucifer. It's all there in his name.
He makes a psychic connection by touch.
Oh my! What is that thing? Shit! What the hell?
The moment we made contact, I understood him. The moment we made contact, I understood him. And he me. And he me. What I know is that if we don't change this and begin helping him, if we don't change this and begin helping him, we will all pay the price.
He wasn't trying to kill it. He was trying to help it escape.
But I won't give up. I will do everything in my power.
Oh my God.
So once he was possessed by the spirit of Lucifer, he wasn't trying to kill it, he was trying to help it escape. This is what the Luciferians are doing. They're trying to release Lucifer and bring him into the world. And we will see some deep revelations coming soon.
Search him. You see that? Move out.
All right. So Nellick and his cronies are taking them onto the Bluebird 6674. The spiritual implication of Bluebird is the bird represents America, the eagle, and blue represents the serpent bloodline. If you look at that number backwards, you will see that it is 47, the Uberman, possessed by a spirit, spiritual possession 47, and 66, Apollo. If you add all those numbers together, you get 23, spiritual possession. It gets pretty deep, you guys.
Breaker 19, is this the police channel?
Breaker 19. That is the Metonic cycle, the spell. 19, like COVID-19, like the Spanish flu, which killed millions in 1919. Okay? This is the Metonic cycle. It's a Ouroboros. It's a spell. So they're throwing this in here, as in they want you to be thinking about CV-19. Okay? Because we just saw that 58, the Super Bowl, is opening up a portal to spiritual possession. And you're going to see how it's done as we get further into this. As I'm editing, I'm seeing deeper revelations. So all these kids were just put on this bus, which is a vessel. It's a spiritual possession vessel. And here this kid is calling for help for them on channel 19, Breaker 19, insinuating that 19 is going to save them from this vessel, trying to reach out for help because they want you to desire the cure. They want to put the medicine in you. And this movie was made in 2011, you guys.
Police channel?
Hey, Mr. Lamb.
Shh. Roscoe.
Hey, Mr. Lamb.
Shh. Roscoe.
Notice this kid says, "Hey, Mr. Lamb," and he says, "Shush," because he's coming in with subtlety. He doesn't want his cover to be blown. So here you have the father, Deputy Jack Lamb. Now, we know that Jesus is the Lamb of God, but this guy is playing the Lamb of Satan. Okay, because Deputy Jack is 116. That's 66. Lamb is 28. The portal, 88. So, Deputy Jack, to escape lockup with the military, has stolen a military uniform. And now, this Apollo portal character is now wearing a uniform that says Wallace. Wallace is 57, 5G. So this Apollo portal has just come in through 5G. Do you see what happened? This Apollo portal character escaped lockdown through 5G. Man, I hope I'm making this clear because this stuff is absolutely crazy.
Chief Master Sergeant, Dust-Off 03 is 20 minutes out.
Okay, now they're on bus number 6674, which we've already discussed the numbers. Added up, they are 23. So inside this bus, inside this vessel, is 8 people. Okay? So there is a portal inside this vessel. And what you're about to see unfold is absolutely crazy.
Chief Master Sergeant, Dust-Off 03 is 20 minutes out. Chief Master Sergeant, Dust-Off 03 is 20 minutes out.
Dust-Off 03 is 20 minutes out. So there you have another 23. So they're on bus 23 that guy says dust off 03 is 20 minutes out. So there's another 3-2, which is 2-3. So spiritual possession is this vessel. Okay, they're riding in a bus, which is a vessel. There are 8 people inside this vessel, which is a portal. A portal to spiritual possession, which is about to be overcome by the beast. Now listen to this.
Chief Master Sergeant, dust off 03 is 20 minutes out.
They're not gonna kill us. You know why? Why? Because we're just...
Who shot that thing from the train?
Please stop.
No, sir, nothing.
What's that gun?
Seiko bolt action 30-06 with 11, 30-06 with 11, 30-06 with 11 wood arch.
Okay, we get it.
What's that gun? Single bolt action, 30-06, 3 6s. So the gun is 666.
6 with 11, 30-06 with 11, 30-06 with 11 wood arch.
Okay, we get it.
Those aren't bullets. He's loading tracking darts. Those aren't bullets. He's loading tracking darts.
Here, tag it.
So in this gun, this 666 gun, they're loading tracking darts into a shot. Okay, see what's happening here? Now, this guy who's going to take the shot, this gets so crazy. I can't even believe these revelations. Wait till you see this.
He's loading tracking darts. Those aren't bullets. He's loading tracking darts.
Here, tag it. Yes, sir.
Open the door.
So, he wants to take this 30-06, this 666 gun, and he wants to give this creature a shot with the tracking dart. Sound familiar? So this bus driver's name is Kraus. They just told him to open the door. Kraus is 75, which is 57, 5G. So 5G is going to open the door to the tracking shot from 666, directed by the Twin Spirits and administered by Overmeyer, the IV. Now, I don't know if I'm playing this clip after or before the other clip with Overmeyer, but Overmeyer is 121. So here you have IV shot with the tracking dart out of the 666 through 5G. You see what's happening here? I hope you guys are following along.
Sir, is there a particular area that you want me to shoot at?
Get us out of here now!
There's a monster out there, Joe!
Who is he?
Got it, sir!
So, this vessel 23 is being taken over by a wicked spirit. The devil has come to take the vessels over.
Let it leak.
Where are the keys? Overmeyer has
Please, open the door! Guys,
Where are the keys? Overmeyer has them. The key to the door. The IV is the key to the door. The open door is 5G. I hope you see the spiritual possession and the story being told here behind the scenes, the disclosure happening, because all this stuff is exactly what I just covered in the last 3 videos.
There's broken glass! Guys! Hurry! Guys, there's broken glass! Guys! Hurry! Martin, let me get on your shoulders! Here we go!
So now they're going to try to escape through broken glass, which is above their heads. This is a common saying among the demonic. They're always talking about breaking through the glass ceiling. Hillary was one of the most famous for this statement. The glass ceiling is what the demonic kingdom calls the firmament, and they believe that if they can break through it, that they will be able to escape the judgment and the wrath of God, Armageddon. So this is why Elon shoots rockets up at the firmament. And this is why the wicked, dark kingdom that rules this world is always talking about breaking through the glass ceiling. This is what they're talking about. They're trying to get through the firmament because they are deceived by their father, the devil. And they are trying to escape earth so they can escape destruction and live forever, because this is what Lucifer has promised them. So they've been trying to break out of earth. And Hillary spoke of the glass ceiling so many times. But this is the symbolism we're seeing here with these boys. They're trapped in there with Satan in this bus. And they're trying to get out so that they can be free. Now remember, they believe that God is evil and that Satan, Lucifer, is good. And keep in mind that Colonel Nellick represents Satan in this show. Okay, he's trying to control the alien. And the alien is supposed to be God, because everything's backwards in Satan's world. So Nellick wants to control God. And these kids are breaking through the glass ceiling to escape from God's judgment. I hope you guys can see what I'm trying to show you. So you can see here, all I typed was talking about breaking through the glass ceiling, and you can see Hillary, TED Talks, all kinds of women, mostly women, few guys, talking about breaking through the glass ceiling. It's all these puppets of the Illuminati, the Luciferians, that are talking about breaking through the glass ceiling because they want to escape Earth. Of course, they can't break free, but this is what they think. This is what they believe. All right, so now I'm going to play you some clips of Hillary talking about trying to break through the glass ceiling, and you will hear just how demonic her speech is. And remember, when women come into power and ruling over the nations, this is a judgment of God. Okay? That's what Scripture tells us. So, listen to this.
Breaking glass ceilings has meant plenty of cuts and bruises for Hillary Rodham Clinton.
We know we've got to keep pushing at that glass ceiling.
To break through the highest and hardest glass ceiling.
No one feels it would be better to crack that glass ceiling than to have a woman as president.
As she crashed through the glass ceiling of American politics.
And I can't believe we just put the biggest crack in that glass ceiling yet.
Her election night party in New York City, in this arena, under a literal giant glass ceiling, hoping for a symbolic victory that would shatter it into a million pieces.
When there are no ceilings, the sky's the limit.
People have noted the glass ceiling here and wondering if Hillary Clinton will be able to shatter that glass ceiling.
I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now. Although we weren't able to shatter that highest, hardest glass ceiling this time, thanks to you, it's got about 18 million cracks in it. And And the light is shining through like never before, filling us all with the hope and the sure knowledge that the path will be a little easier next time.
The glass ceiling is the firmament, and the Luciferians and Satanists are trying to break through it so they can escape from the earth and not face Armageddon. They think if they can break through the firmament and escape and help Lucifer escape, just like Dr. Woodward in this movie did after he had made contact and was possessed by the spirit of Lucifer, then they'll live forever.
Come on, Joe! Come on, Joe! Let's go! Let's go!
So here are the boys escaping their death by breaking through the glass ceiling. Remember that all the children's names numerically are wicked and demonic. That is the spiritual implication that's being laid out here. This is the zombie movie these kids are making for this film. This is the whole point, is these kids were making this zombie movie and accidentally got tangled up in all this other stuff. All this other stuff happening, all while these kids are creating zombies. I've clipped this up quite a bit, so let's have a look.
This is where my friend was attacked.
By who?
I've never seen him before. He looked pale, crazy. He bit my friend.
Then what happened?
He was dead. And then?
He got up and walked away.
How did you know?
Anything left behind?
Yes, this fell out of the pocket of the attacker's pocket.
Level 5, Roman numeral V, Lucifer, Building 47, Spiritual Possession. You guys, this is crazy. Everything is in this movie. Zombies, 58, spiritual possession, the eclipse state, everything. It's all here in this one movie. By showing level 5, Lucifer, being in building 47, they are telling you that Lucifer is the spirit behind the possession of the zombies.
Thank you. Unfortunate accident. That was no accident. Did you see the bites on their neck? Those were zombie attacks. Then what happens in building 47? You wouldn't mind if I took a look around, would you? He knows.
There's building 47. Wasn't enough to say they're going to show you. They're putting it in your face.
I can't believe we weren't killed last night.
Okay, now you have to leave town.
What if there are survivors down there?
There were no survivors. Did you see that crash?
That settles it. I'm not going anywhere.
It's been 2 weeks, and the murders continue. This investigation is like no other. Could zombies be real?
It's been 2 weeks, and the murders continue. Understand that 2 weeks is 14 days. 14 is 7 and 7. 77. That's 7/11, which my longtime viewers will understand to be 9/11. 7/11 and 9/11 are the same. September 11th, septa means 7 for the new viewers. So 7/11 and 9/11 are the same number. And why that's relevant in the case of this movie is because Revelation 9:11 is all about how Apollo is the king over all the things that are coming out of the pit in Revelation 9.
Continue. This investigation is like no other. Could zombies be real? Doctor?
Detective, I was the one that developed the special compound to turn all these humans into zombies. It was supposed to be used as a military weapon, but it got out of hand. So I made this antidote that will hopefully cure all of the zombies. Would you like to help me test it on this innocent victim of my creation?
Honey, I'm home. Good news. We found a cure for the zombie infection. Honey? Sorry. It didn't work. I wish it worked. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
John?
So the doctor, who is played by the character Charles is 66. That's Apollo's number. Notice the doctor, played by Charles, said that he created the zombie infection as a military weapon, and he also created the cure. That's what Apollo does. He creates the sickness and the cure. And Charles is 66, Apollo. I hope you see what's going on in this movie because it is absolutely insane. Well, that's what I got for you guys. I hope that you were able to take in and consume everything I laid out for you. We are getting so close to some horrific events taking place. I can only assume that more disclosure and more truth is going to be coming out soon. As far as what all this means, you're going to have to take it to the Lord in prayer. But I myself am starting to feel like this eclipse is going to open up the floodgates for possession, and that this will start a chain of events that will walk us into the Antichrist Iron Kingdom. Stay prayed up, study your Bibles, and put on the full armor of God, because you're going to need it. Until next time, you guys, take care.